waiting for my thing to come on live. Ladies and gentlemen, as you know, it's the peasant, prodigious, prominent Professor Johnson at Proclamation News and Gatherance. Good evening. It's 9:49 and it's Thursday, September 2020. I'm tenaciously in love with UK politics, journalism. Each way, anyway, UK politics. Not just politics, though. Not just politics. We talk about royal family updates. We talk about DWP updates, sporadic knife crime. Remember, I used to do car incidents, spotting spotting different car incidents, road congestions. Giving people a guided tour how to use their car sufficiently, not under the influence of alcohol or narcotics, sleep deprivation. There's so many people that get in their vehicle not realizing of their innocent. Old people drive that don't take alcohol and narcotics. Young kids and passengers in the car. Motorcyclists. People don't check their centre and wing mirrors before overtaking. Not thinking about motorcyclists. There's a lot of things to think about before in the car. Making sure babies have their seatbelt adjacent to their car seat. Checking the engine oil and your water coolant tank before takeoff. Loads of different things. If your tyres are bald, giving way to police instructions. This sort of malnistic, I mean, people do need to really. I was doing car incidents quite often just to give people a guided tour off Mount Nistif, off Mount back. It's not what I've been taught. It's not what I haven't looked on the internet for this guidance. It's just it comes. It's water to a duck's back, isn't it? You've been driving on the road, you know these things. You're not checking to see if your tyres are bald. Get in the car with your family, risking lives. I'm not narcissistic. I mean, people must come on here and think, oh, he's thinking getting above his station. He's on the radio, thinks like really like a narcissist, loves himself. But why should I care about people on the road? Because I care about innocent lives. Same as this. Any people say, I've been speaking to a close friend, and she's had COVID-19, and then we can only sit there and thank heaven. I didn't actually think I knew someone close by that had it. Didn't think. I forgot. I've got a great friend that's she had COVID. She's here today, and I've been speaking to her just now. How lucky we are. People taking COVID-19 for granted, not listening to law authorities. People go, MPs don't mean nothing. Look at Watling on the train the other day, going to London, asked the guy to put his COVID mask on. He told him to F off. Like I said, if that boy was with his mum and I told his mum to F off, I don't think he'd be very happy, would he? So, you've got to be nice to these people, even if it's a security guard in the shop. Say, like, excuse me, sir, have you got a COVID mask? If you're exempt, just be polite. You don't have to be abrupt. No need for it. Rules and regulations are put in place for safety of our democracy. So, you know, thank you all. Firstly, I just want to say thank you all for coming back, tuning in. I'm not here to discriminate listeners, just to, give a nice, what I think should happen, how we should appreciate one another. They say love thy neighbour like you'd love yourself. Treat others how you'd like to be treated. Absolutely. I don't go around discriminating people. I know we're talking about politics, put each other's side down, but it's a bit like football. But there's no need to be abrupt to it. I'm on the loads of, like I say, I debate in all the politics pages, and some people come out with some rubbish stuff. Putting Boris Johnson down. Is it Boris Johnson's fault that we've got COVID-19? Could he control it better? Could not? What you got to ask yourself when you say these, criticise the Prime Minister. It doesn't matter if it's Labour, SNP. Who could do a better job and why? I mean, if Boris Johnson shut down all the airports, like I said, don't you think COVID would still be there? You got birds, you got insects, you got food, you got food produce, cars, phones, mobile phones. So what are you saying? You're not going to open a letter. You're not going to open a letter. You're not going to, when you get a new update, new upgrade in your phone, you're not going to get a new phone. Where's your phone come from? Your phone probably is made in China. So, stupid things that I hear people come out of day in, day out on politics, thinking they know better, they can do a better job. We're not politicians. People say, "Oh, Boris is lying about this, lying about that." But let's be honest. Let's be surreal, really. You're in Parliament. You want to give people the best possibility that they're going to pull through COVID. He's going to say and do which way, whichever it's going to, it's going to come out that he's going to be he's the prime minister. So he's got to come out of something really fundamentally and excel himself, hasn't he? He's got to excel himself to make us think, yeah, he's going to get it sorted. He's trying to prompt us probably a little bit too quickly that, then we will discover certain things like the vaccines and certain things. People go, oh yeah, but he says he's going to do this, now he's lying. He's contradicting himself. He's not. He's trying to do the best by the UK, best by UK citizens. He's done a good job. He's got more policing. He's built a bigger infrastructure, and there's a lot in the process. It takes time, Getting things through Parliament takes weeks, possibly months. Anyway, moving on, guys. We're going to move into today's formation. Thank you all for listening. Yeah, Bojo's got a tough job, but Bojo, like my friend was just saying here, my friend Kerry from Chestnut. I won't give you a full name just in case you search her in the phone book. Yeah, she says he's got a tough job. Anyone when Theresa May, I thought I like Theresa May. I did like Theresa May. Didn't have a lot to her resume. I did think why wasn't Boris in the Prime Minister in the first place because he's been in and around politics for over 37 years. I know that much because he's doing journalism, 1983, the year I was born, and he's been foreign secretary. He's been done a lot in that 37 years. He's been in the business a long time. So Sir Keir Starmer is Labour's new top boy. No disrespect. I mean, Corbyn's got, Corbyn has got 37 years, if not more, experience. Corbyn was MP of North London in 1983. This Sir Keir Starmer, I don't know where I don't know his resume. I don't know his resume. I'm not going to knock the guy, but everyone's going, he should be the next Prime Minister. But he's new to the throne. How can you put someone new to the throne as a... Yes, Tash, what's the question? Before I move on, I'll wait for the question. It's got a query. Someone asked me a query. Bear with me, guys, and then we'll move on. What's the question? Why do you look like a guy? Oh, a lot of people say that. I don't know. A lot of people say I look like a guy from Peaky Blinders. I don't know why. It's just maybe because I've been beaten up a few times. Parliament. Anyway, right, we're going on to UK politics. Starting off in Parliament. Tory MPs to refuse unconscious bias training. Several Conservative MPs say they will not take part in unconscious bias training provided by the House of Commons. Anyone else is following me on YouTube or on my other media? I'm on Castbox as well. On Castbox, Proclamation News and Governance, as well as on YouTube. The training aims to tackle prejudices people are unaware they hold on issues like race and gender. Writing the Mail this week, Ben Bradley called it Orwellian and totally nonsensical. Speaking on Thursday, Commons leader Jacob Rees-Mogg said it was for MPs to decide if they wanted to participate. He said finally the House had made an unconscious bias training available, and if people want to do it, that is a matter for them. When you look at this Conservative Party widespread, you look at all the different ethnicities, they're going to sit there and think, well, we're not really, we're not really racist front. We've got, you've got people like Priti Patel, Sajid Javid. You've got people from all different ethnicities in their group. I don't think that's probably why they're not taken to it, maybe. Speak soon, Kez. I'll chat to you tomorrow. Thank you for coming through, and I'll chat with you tomorrow. The House of Commons said the training was being done under a pilot scheme after it was requested by MPs. Attendance is voluntary. The only thing I could think that might get a bit out of hand with these MPs and whatever, when they have a drink. You know what it's like when people have a drink. Their chemical imbalances, and they start, and then race, cultural, ethnicities, they explode after a drink. Always away in football matches. I've been to several football matches. I even take my kids to a football match, and you see the racist chant going from one end of the pitch to the other. It's horrible, horrific. You see it in boxing. It said the 2 hour line session raises awareness of unconscious bias and explores practical ways of tackling it. Mr. Bradley, Conservative MP for Mansfield, said the training represented the second phase of our re-education after MPs attended sessions about valuing people in the workplace. Black MP mistaken for colleagues and condemns racism. He added, "It seems totally nonsensical to me that in a role as a representative of a community that's typically left behind and voices for many years, I should be advised that there are certain words I shouldn't use, certain issues that I should avoid, certain sensibilities that I should not offend." Are you there? How you doing, Sturge? I'll be with you in a bit, mate. To How am I to raise the true feelings of an electorate that broadly feels like it's being preached at a metropolitan elite who never understood nor care about them? If I have to walk on eggshells and dance around the problem. Several of his colleagues tweeted their agreement, including David Warburton, the MP of Somerton and Frome, who said he would go further down this rabbit hole. The Times has reported that up to 40 Conservative MPs could refuse the sessions. The trade union Prospect, which represents some public sector's workers, said Parliament should publicly and strongly reject the arguments put forward by the MPs on unconscious bias. The Deputy General Secretary, Gary Graham, added all MPs should undertake the training that their own black and Asian employees see as a crucial step in improving their day-to-day working lives. Yes, if that's what they want, then they should. Yeah, and I understand why they possibly want them to do that. Why shouldn't they? I agree. What kind of message does it send to the country if a couple of hours of training is too high a price to pay to demonstrate that tackling racism and unconscious bias is a priority? This House of Commons has provided unconscious bias training for all its staff since 2016. I mean, Parliament's complete sovereignty, and if it starts within the law, the absolute sovereignty of the law, it'll work down in numbers throughout businesses, perhaps in offices. All these kind of things. In building sites, they should have get youngsters coming through the ranks in the building site. Why not preach it for the business? Same through you see it in sports grounds, don't you? Kids' sports clubs. They need to be, some sports clubs do preach, um, racism, fascism. About asked the sessions for MPs, it said, "We are committed to creating an inclusive workplace and, following requests for MPs, we have made unconscious bias training available to them on small pilot bases. They are not mandatory, and the pilot is expected to be completed in the next few weeks." I think religious studies at school is, it should be a big thing on everyone. That should be mandatory subject that all the children have to do. All the children have to do it, so they understand, and it's not an extremist or fascist thing. That got different multiculturalism across UK. If someone's treated different because of their skin colour or their religion, it needs to be done from young age. Brit holidaymakers jetting off to Cyprus are clogging up the NHS COVID testing system. There's a COVID test and trace thing on your mobile phone as well. I've downloaded it, by the way. You download it your phone has to be no older than 3 years. Otherwise, you can't. Your phone is not. I don't think your phone will be updated enough to take the app. The government has warned that only people with coronavirus symptoms should not ask for a test from the health service. Brits who do not have symptoms of COVID-19 are taking advantage of already overstretched NHS testing service so they can jet off on holiday to Cyprus. The island in the Mediterranean, which has recorded less than 2,000 cases of coronavirus, requires travellers from the UK to hand over a negative COVID-19 test result upon arrival. The government has explicitly told Brits not to use NHS tests to get the green light to go on holiday. With the test and trace system, already so backed up that sick people are being asked to travel hundreds of miles to be swabbed for the virus. Guidelines say Brits looking for some Cypriot sun should instead fork out for their own private COVID-19 test, which usually cost around 100 and £200, and many are. But a number of people are actually fiddling the system. In order to get the negative result, they need to guarantee their trips to Cyprus. In a Facebook group about travelling to Cyprus, one man described how he and his partner had used the NHS testing service in Scotland to go on holiday. The test service centres are empty at the moment, and the results were received after 25 hours only, he wrote. Yet is it true you are not supposed to be using these tests for travel purposes, but in many cases like ours, we had no choice. Get a free test and get results quickly or lose £1,800. The price for a private test in the UK right now is nothing but a joke, £150 a head. In most cases where Cyprus offer tests at €60 each and guarantee test results in 24 hours. Meanwhile, a second person tweeted, I'm in Cyprus, had a free test on NHS, great service. Finally paid some of the thousands I invest in it. I don't know if you can look into that. Maybe you can get a test from private Cyprus sent in if you pay for it. Don't know. Something maybe worth looking into. I haven't looked into it. I could do, but I'm not going anywhere, so I don't need to. Another wrote on Facebook, I did use the NHS for a test. When I went in September, but now I'm going back in October. I've booked a private test. If people want to use the NHS, it's up to them, and people should keep their nose out of other people's business, especially when they have done exactly the same thing. Maybe some people are on a very tight budget and cannot afford a private test. The High Commission of Cyprus in the UK has also confirmed that the country will accept NHS test results from the British travellers. Commission. So basically, we'll accept your tests in Cyprus. In an update on the website, the Commission wrote NHS for the COVID-19 will be able to accept it in order to travel from UK to Cyprus. Travellers with negative NHS tests need to have both the NHS test appointment booking and the NHS COVID-19 negative result notification. Result not more than 72 hours before departure. But the government has warned the holidaymakers should not be taking advantage of the NHS system. A spokesperson for the Department of Health and Social Care told HuffPost UK, only people with symptoms should be requesting a test. We need we all need to play our part to protect the NHS test and trace service for those who really need it. If you're not eligible to get a test, you can continue to protect yourself, loved ones, and public by washing your hands, wearing a face covering in enclosed spaces, practical social distancing, and self-isolating if you have come into contact with the virus. You know, if you feel tired, you feel naughty, feel a bit tired, feel like come down with a bit of fever, it's worth getting a test. If you download the application, if your chest is burning, wishful thinking, wishful thinking, Mr. Sunak, Mr. Sunak, wishful thinking. He says that is it. That's all he says. He doesn't say much else, but wishful thinking. There you go. Anyone suffering with mental health struggles? Mental health struggles. You know what makes me laugh? For the mental health struggles or the pub shutting down early. Everyone's complaining about pubs shutting down early. And obviously, if we go into lockdown, they're going to have mental health problems. I'm in lockdown every day of my life, regardless lockdown or not. Well, not every day of my life, but where my situation's been for the last 3 or 4 years. I've been locked down every day for them 3 years. You know, people are whinging about pubs shutting down early. Mental health, where does it start? Chemical imbalance. So if you go and drink alcohol in the pub shut an hour early, a less hour drinking. It's probably better for your mental health, isn't it? People go, oh no, pubs can shut early. But I can understand the breweries can be a little bit upset because that's their business. You know, no one goes to the pub because you've got down an hour early. But the people whinging them to the pub, shutting an hour early is not going to hurt. Do good. They shut an hour early, if anything. Might make you drink at home. What's the point going to the pub? It shuts an hour early. Drink at home then. That's the problem. I mean, I don't drink. I know people like to drink, so I'm not gonna mock. I'm not gonna mock people that do have a drink, and enjoy themselves. Drink indoors. Nothing's hurting you or stopping you from drinking indoors. Anything you do in life, you know what? Anything you do in life, you don't feel, at a minute you might feel like a failure because of what's going on, COVID-19. But let me tell you, God loves a trier. Don't give up. God loves a trier. If you give up, you're failing yourself. But if you do, if you fail, everyone fails at something or can't be good. We can't do but try. Try your best. Give it your all. Don't give up trying. I try and inspire, not expire. But that's the saying of don't give up. Keep trying. Anything you want to be in life, once upon a time I thought I was going to be this world champion professional boxer. Once upon a time, despite my illness, despite my illness, I've done well, and I'm happy what I achieved in that small time. We're looking at this, the Iraq's team's death by the soldier. So we're going to look into that. That oh, bear with me, 2 seconds. Here we go, ladies and gents. British ex-soldier Major Robert Campbell cleared over Iraq teenager death. The British soldier has been cleared over the death of an Iraqi teenager after 17 years of investigation. Saeed Shabram's family say he drowned after being forced into the river by UK soldiers in Basra in 2003. But a report published on Tuesday said there was no reliable evidence that soldiers were responsible. Madge Robert Campbell, one of the accused soldiers, said he had finally been exonerated, but that the allegation had destroyed his career. None of the soldiers were overcharged over the death, despite a criminal injury by the military police and further investigations. By the now defunct Iraq Historical Allegations Team. But Mr. Shabram's death became the subject of a judge-led inquiry by the Iraq Fatalities Investigations Team. I mean, you look at soldiers, you look at death. I mean, things like this, they do jump straight on a soldier's back because it's, their tuition to kill and protect, So they're gonna jump straight on a soldier's back for these kind of things. Anything that rational happens in another country, racial attack or something. It must be hard being in that front line elite. They see murders, they see rape. These these soldiers, don't they? They go for a lot, so they're gonna be on the forefront of being, part of the accusation. Jumped or fell into water. Baroness Hel Pallet, who led the Iraq Fatalities Investigation Probe, said it was possible Mr. Sharab's family has been misled by false witnesses who claimed he had been pushed into the water. She said it was most likely that Mr. Shabram jumped or fell into the water in the process of trying to escape what he believed would be dire punishment for looting. She added there was no need for a further explore to the training and instruction given to the British soldiers on dealing with looters and alleged looters, that she had no recommendation to make. I'm only going to be about another 10 minutes, guys. I revealed that after investigations have finally been exonerated, Marge Campbell told BBC Defence correspondent Jonathan Bill. But I'm angry that it took 8 investigations, 17 years, and destroyed my career, he said. I'm angry at the Army and the MOD, Ministry of Defence, abandoned us, angry that despite the two key Iraq witnesses being exposed as liars in 2006, the MOD and our IHAT choose to believe them anyway on the grounds and ground us into the dust. I'm grateful to Baroness Hallett for her findings, but I already knew I was innocent, he said. He was speaking to the radio for today's programme in 2018. Marge Campbell said he had not had a good night's sleep for 15 years. As a result of repeated investigations, ex-Army Chief Lord Richard Dannett told the same programme the soldier had gone through a 15-year nightmare. It happened, yeah, these things happen to a lot of people, you know. It's a bit, I can understand, like he's getting charged, he could be getting charged for murder, thinking he's living with this. It's murder that he hasn't even done. It's a terrible, terrible fear, isn't it? Veterans Minister Johnny Mercer said in a statement that he hoped on Thursday the findings will bring some closure and reassurance to the family and the veterans involved in the process. He added, nobody wants to see the service personnel or veterans facing extensive reinvestigations into the same incident, and our overseas operations bill will help provide greater certainty and protections in the future. The government says the new law will protect the armed forces from vexatious uh, prosecutions, but critics argue it could discriminate torture. The Iraq Fatality Investigations (IFI) team was set up after the High Court ruled investigations conducted by the Iraqi Historical Allegations Team (IHAT) should be followed up in the form of an inquest. IHAT had been looking into allegations made against Iraq and war veterans, but had still shut down after the human rights lawyer Phil Shiner, involved in many of the abuse allegations cases, was struck off for misconduct. 34 million IHT probe did not lead to any precautions and was branded as a unanimous failure by MPs on the House of Commons Defence Committee. That must be a shock thing to live with. I don't know what you guys make of living with something like that. I don't know, but what an absolute shocker. Hi there, Tony Angel. Thank you so much. I appreciate you coming through. You always come alive. I really appreciate you, buddy. It's nice to see the same faces. Nice to see the same people giving me a bit of encouragement, support. It's always the same faces coming through. Appreciate it so much. Come up to the last maybe 5-10 minutes. Let's see. I've been enjoying it. It's a short cast today. Talk about my two favourite people in the Parliament, Scottish Parliament and London Parliament. Sturgeon calls for stronger UK COVID restrictions. I like Sturgeon. She doesn't try to mock Boris. She tries to support him. Listen to this. I've heard about this earlier. I heard it in the PMQ, not PMQs. Heard it over the SNP Parliament earlier. Nicola Sturgeon has written to Boris Johnson calling for urgent four nation talks to tighten lockdown restrictions further. Scottish Minister, Scottish First Minister cited scientific opinion that stronger action was needed to control coronavirus. Ms Sturgeon also said more financial support was necessary to cushion the impact of businesses. It comes as the Chancellor prepares to unveil plans to minimise jobs losses and new COVID restrictions come into force. Rishi Sunak is expected to place the furlough scheme, which is set to expire next month. I mean, I heard later on the phone on Talk Radio and LBC. I've had a few callers. Some people, like these people that are calling in, there's a lady she's a mother and she's got two children. One of them's disabled. She goes to work and she owns her own house, pays her own bill. You know, she's independent. She pays the bills, looks after the children, goes to work. She's worried that she'll get furloughed off. She's worried that the 80% furlough scheme is not going to cover her mortgage. What happens then? Is she going to lose her house? Is she going to lose her house? Is she going to afford her bills and her shopping? That's what she's worried about. And a lot of people are in, you know, there's going to be a lot of mental health cases go on because of this, the way things are. I've obviously had my water bill, my electric bill And yeah, I haven't paid it since I've been here because I didn't know which company I was. Now I found out. Yeah, I've been quite a big kick in the teeth. I've only just been able to survive as it is. So we're all in the same boat. Just because I'm sitting here smiling, giving you the updates, we're all in the same boat. We're in the same boat together. So hopefully we can all pull out the other side. In July, about 700,000 workers in Scotland, many in the hospitality sector, were still receiving some or all of our income through the scheme. The Scottish Government has already gone further than the Westminster Government in introducing restrictions to the limit of the spread of the virus by banning different households from meeting inside their homes. As in other parts of the UK, at 10 p.m. curfew for bars and restaurants will be introduced in Scotland later this week. But at her daily coronavirus briefing on Wednesday, Ms Sturgeon hinted she believed this did not go far enough. Considerable force, she said, it is more money had been available to help the hospitality sector, it is likely she would have come to different decision. In a letter to Prime Minister, she said collective agreement to drive down COVID to the lowest possible level was particularly welcome. But she continued, while our four governments announced new restrictions yesterday, there is clearly a significant stand to a scientific opinion to the effect that bringing R back below 1 and the virus back under control will require measures beyond those which any of us have so far announced. In my view, this considerable force in that opinion. You see these bars, pubs. There's a picture of a pub, and there's so many people at the outdoor benches drinking in groups. I wouldn't do it. Would not do it. Even in purple band, I'd be with you in a sec, girl. Hope you're well. Miss Sturgeon said experience from earlier this year had shown how essential acting quickly and decisively against the virus has been. In other words, if we believe further action will require, there is nothing to be gained and potentially much to be lost, including lives from delay. Ms Sturgeon said there are four nations should discuss what further actions might be necessary, what support was required for affected sectors, and what arrangements could be in place to ensure that developed administrations were not constrained when making what they judge to be essential public health decisions. Yeah, I'll let you be done in about 1 minute, Pan. I'll be right with you, girl. Hope you're well. I'll be with you. Hi, Lou. The Scottish Government has repeatedly called for greater borrowing powers as it seeks to alleviate the impact of the pandemic. In response to Ms Sturgeon's letter, the UK Government highlighted the support being given through the Treasury to mitigate the effects of the pandemic. A spokeswoman said the Prime Minister held a COBRA meeting on Tuesday, which was attended by the leaders on developed administration. The crisis has shown clearly the value of Scotland being part of a strong United Kingdom, with the UK Government providing the bulk of COVID testing in Scotland. The UK's armed forces playing a key role in providing support for Scottish communities, and UK Treasury playing an absolute critical role in supporting jobs and businesses across Scotland. We will continue to tackle this pandemic as one United Kingdom. Like I was just saying, like a lot of you have been listening for a while. My friend from Chestnut near Romford, near London, she had COVID-19. She was convicted of COVID-19. There's two teachers in my mum's school had COVID-19 and children. People were taking risks, thinking that's all right. I don't know anyone close by has got COVID, but that's three people. Three people. And someone that I've been in my life today talking to me, speaking to me, had COVID. I totally forgot about it. I thought to myself, I don't mean no one's got COVID. Everyone's, doing these protests, going around shops like that, not thinking about a mask, thinking that we're untouchable. No one's untouchable. When I say, everything's impossible, no, nothing's impossible. Everything is possible. Whatever you try in life, whatever you try in life, you can be a trier, but you can also fail trying. It's about how you keep trying that matters. But you can catch COVID. You can take all the safety measures and take precautions. You've got to be careful. When I say wash your hands, put your COVID mask on. Don't do it for your safety. Do it for the safety of others. got to remember when you go into anything in your life. If I'm doing my radio present, I'm not doing this radio for me. I'm trying to also guide others. I'm trying to do, I'm trying to produce good radio content, good segments of the radio to help help produce your own life. I'm producing to give you good guidance for day to day activities. I've got some people saying it's a hoax, but I do not believe for 1 minute it's a hoax. I do not believe for 1 6 hoax. Anyway, I've got some stuff I want to go through before we go off. I love each and every one of you. I like all your opinions. You know what? Opinions are important. Even if our opinions don't marry up, or I don't mind. It's a debate. Anything's debatable, and everyone's opinion matters. You know what? People appreciate a trier, don't they? Anyone that appreciates a trier, if you do not succeed your best shot, don't worry because you're not a failure. You didn't exceed the expectations you set yourself. But one thing you did is you tried your best. Failure is and isn't a bad thing. Just try a different approach. We were made to make mistakes. You tried, and that option didn't work out. Pick yourself up. It's evaluation time. Try again. Don't always give up. Keep trying. You can always bet yourself. Sometimes, when I was, I was a footballer and a boxer once upon a time. I'd go out like the week before the cup final, say a football match, and then we'd lose. And I think that was because I had a drink that weekend. I always think drink is the biggest sin, you know that. When I go out and have a drink and you have a bad game, you're out of breath. You always you always blame yourself, kick yourself. Let my team down, let myself down. But you tried, you turned up, you made the numbers up. That's what matters. Anyway, guys, thank you all for the listening. Please subscribe and help me share the cast. We're gonna get bigger and better every time. We're building up slowly on YouTube, which I'm happy about. Thank you so much. God bless. One love. Speak soon. How you doing, Panda?